Whoa, my shirt is like reflecting the sunlight. So cool. You see? Welcome aboard. Hi, I'm Vanessa. I'm a flight attendant and a photographer. Today I'm going to share more about how to make friends across the world. So, last week we talked about where to meet friends and also what to do when we first meet them. And today we're going to dive deeper into the topic, namely to talk about how to bond and also how to maintain the friendship despite the distance. If you're new here and would like to start from the very beginning of the topic, click here or here or here or here, I don't know, somewhere here. But if you have watched my previous video, let's just get right into the topic. How to bond with your new friends. Okay, so how do you bond with your new friends? So imagine you have now found a new friend from a foreign country with different cultural backgrounds, and you actually know something about their country now and also that person. You might wonder, okay, you guys have different cultural backgrounds, languages or habits, practice, religions, etc. You may find it more difficult to bond with each other than your friends from your own country because you have all these things inside your head and think that, oh, maybe we may not get along because of that, but well, it's not true. And here I'm going to tell you how you can break through this kind of mindset. Everything's possible. Okay, let's get started. So tip number 1, find common interests and difference. We all know it's very important to find common interests and hobbies so that you have a lot of things to talk about. But if you're with a friend who comes from different part of the world, learn about the differences as well, so that you gotta learn to respect each other and also be more understanding. So let's take my work as an example. So in my airline, the cabin crew come from all around the world, especially from Asian countries like Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Korea, India, the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia as well. So in order to make things work, we have to respect and accommodate each other's practice and also habits. So for example, for Hong Konger, as long as we respect each other and we work effectively and also efficiently, we're happy and we're good. However, courtesy is a very important part of Japanese culture. So the junior would need to go to the senior and greet in person before work. Okay, I'm not saying that Hong Kong people are impolite to their supervisors and don't talk to them before work. What I mean is, in Japan, the hierarchical culture is more significant in their country, and that's why they really care about a lot of details when it comes to courtesies. And for us Hong Konger, we focus more on the efficiency, so it's like we prioritize different things when it comes to work. So when I work with a Japanese crew, I would be more humble, while working with my Hong Kong colleagues, I will be more direct because we all just want to get things done quickly. But since we understand each other's differences and practice, even when I may not reach the Japanese standard, my counterpart will still be understanding and knowing that I at least try. So this can also be applied to meeting friends. So I would say that not only having common interests and topics are important to a friendship, but knowing each other's differences and accepting them are vital to a friendship, because now you respect each other and also a lot of misunderstandings can be avoided. Tip number 2, don't judge. I repeat, don't judge. Why do you do that? What the heck are you doing? Ew. Oh my god, I don't get it. Oh. Yeah, you see? Isn't it despicable when you do that? Okay, sometimes you guys may disagree with each other and even argue with each other because you guys come from a completely different background. It may span from, feminism, global warming, should we pay back to our parents after we start working, or should we wear a mask or not? Guys, wear a mask. Believe me. But none of you guys are wrong. Okay, maybe the mask thing I'm right, okay? Just wear a mask, please. Most of the time, there's no right or wrong, it's just different. And every country has its beauty and success, and we should actually embrace them and learn from the good things from them. So if you disagree with what your friends are doing or his or her ideology or mindset, instead of immediately reacting or judging them, let them explain and try not to turn that into an argument, because sometimes you can actually see things from a new perspective and that will open your mind, and that's the beauty of having a foreign friend. So argue to understand instead of winning. Tip number 3. Ask personal questions and embrace vulnerability. Just because you make a new foreign friend doesn't mean that your conversation should always revolve around travel and culture, because you will only get that far as a friend if you leave the conversation on that. They only become real people when you are a genuine friend and are able to talk about personal stuff. So after spending some time with your friend, you can slowly progress the conversation to something more personal, like you can ask about their family, friends, school life, social life, work life, and even love life. Just like how you would talk to your friend back home, and you will immediately see how your friend would engage more in the conversation. So yeah, it was too dark last night, so I have to wait until the next day for better lighting. So yeah, here I am, same outfit, a new topic. Anyways, so we've just gone through how to bond with people, because bonding with people would build a good foundation of your friendship, and it makes it a lot more organic to keep the connection over time and space, which leads to the next topic, namely how to continue the friendship despite time and distances. Now with the COVID-19 situation, the future is pretty unpredictable, and we never know when we'll be able to start traveling again, and we're forced to have more long-distance friendship because of that. So why not just make the most out of the situation? It may not be easy because of the time difference, like when you say good morning to your friend replies good night to you, or because of a distance, you guys may not be able to see each other that often. But if you guys do put effort on it, it will be totally worth it. Here are some of the tips I'm going to share with you. Tip number 1. Check in with them regularly. If you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure you have a phone or a computer or a tablet which are connected to social medias, and very likely your friends have the same thing. And I'm pretty sure you guys are connected on social media, so if you see something funny or a piece of quote which reminds you of each other, tag him or her or share it to your WhatsApp or whatever. Or when you hear news about that country, check in with your friends and see how they're doing. For example, like last year, there have been a series of political movements in Hong Kong, and although many people could read news on the internet, they would still come to me and ask me for what's happening, because they don't read Chinese and the news coverage is not as thorough as in Chinese, so they would talk with me. And for example, right now in Italy, in US, in Spain, the situation of COVID-19 is very serious, so I would ask them how things is going, just to make sure that my friends are safe, and if they need any help, I will be there. I will try to, if they need masks, I try to send them over, etc, etc. So this is a good way to keep in touch. Another tip would be, instead of text messages, you can actually make some voice notes or send them photos or videos, because it's more visual or sensational. Oh, one more thing. Do remember the details about your friends. Just because they are not around you all the time doesn't give you an excuse that you will forget, what they do or what they like, etc. Because if your friend realizes that you actually don't remember the details of them, they may actually wonder if you really care about them, or it will give her an illusion that you don't really show respect. Okay, imagine your friend is actually a basketball player and you ask him, "Oh, how's things going with your football career?" He would find it ridiculous. What? Do you even remember what I do, or are you even talking to me? I mean, after all, it's always good to remember the small details of your friends to show respect. The more you mention about things that they wouldn't expect people to remember, the more they would like you. Okay, in case you really forget about what they do, you can maybe browse their social media profile, like on their Instagram, and see if that would give you any hints to remind you or recall your memory about what they do, so you would know he is a basketball player, not a football player. Okay, in case you really forget about that, just say that you're sorry and ask them to tell you. But at least in this way, your friend can see that you do care about them. Yeah. Tip number 2, schedule a time for each other. So apart from keeping in touch on text messages or through social media, it's also very nice to do something together. But how? My suggestion would be create something that you can do virtually. For example, if you guys are both into TV series or movies, you guys can actually watch the same movie at the same time on Netflix Party, which is like a Google Chrome extension which you can download, and you guys can talk about the movie at the same time. Second, if you guys enjoy video games, you guys can definitely do that on the computer. If you guys are not that into the virtual world, you guys can, for example, read the same book and talk about it, or learn a new language and practice with each other. So in a nutshell, try to find something to do together and support each other along the way. Last tip of today, go with the flow. I have to admit that sometimes I can be a pretty bad friend when I'm caught up with like personal life or work life and forget about other responsibilities, including responding to my friends from the other side of the world, especially when I don't see them. And that makes me feel like I'm not that obligated to reply to them. And by the time when I remember that I have to go back to them, sometimes it may be a little bit too late. So if this happens, there's nothing you can do but be utterly honest and apologize for not showing up for so long. But obviously, same thing will also happen to my friends when they are caught up with their life and forget to reply to me. So sometimes you just have to accept that this is the reality and go with the flow. But after all, if you ask me if it is worth to have friends across the world, it's a definite yes. And by learning each other's cultures and differences, you definitely become a more humble, understanding, and empathetic person. So yeah, that's how we make friends across the world. Feel free to comment down below if you have more tips, and hit the subscribe button for more on-the-road personal growth videos. I'm Vanessa, and I will see you next week. Bye!